is, what is your opinion of country music?
Oh boy.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Warriors Mindset podcast, where the sayings, riddles, and blunders of the wise are spit forth or puked out. Today, we're going to be talking about corporate structure. We're going to be doing a cool Q&A with some leaders of our company and spiders. Okay, so today I have our CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Mrs. Brighton Woods.
Hey guys, what's going on?
You know, I have to, sometimes I want to say Gates because like sometime your old email pops
My
up.
old email is, but you've literally never known me as Gates.
I never have known you of Gates, but your first email was Gates with me. Yeah. So we are chilling out, and we're gonna ramble on a little bit about the life in our world. I would say our snow globe or sphere.
It's round.
I've been thinking about that a lot because there's so much stuff going on around the world, but the reality is it's like, what is in our world, in our globe? And I think I might just start calling it snow globe.
In our little shaker bottle.
We used to buy Christmas presents for Ethan every year, and one would be a snow globe.
Does he still have them?
Yeah, but he says that you can stop buying them because he doesn't know where to put them.
Oh, he's too cool now. His girlfriend probably doesn't like him.
He is too cool. But so originally we started this podcast for our training system because we have about 150 employees in 9 or 10 companies.
Yep.
And we're in the hospitality industry.
The hospitality industry.
Yeah. And entertainment, that's the way I look at it. Like the servers or waitresses and waiters, that's the word from the 60s. We consider them entertainers. And so there's a lot that encompasses us, like the variety of age groups that we work for us.
Different walks of life and people in just totally different positions. It's really awesome.
Yeah. And so like we want, we like meeting with people, and we do a lot of mentorship.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a lot of, people ask to meet, and I love it. It's actually my favorite thing, but it gets a little bit overwhelming. So that's what this podcast is for.
Yeah. We spent almost the whole day yesterday doing that.
Yesterday was awesome, and I want to get to that. But also, like, for those of you who want to, like, listen to, like, the real deal entrepreneurs, like, Brighton is a real deal entrepreneur. She worked her way up she went from banker to restaurant manager.
Yeah.
To CFO, but I think we might talk a little bit about that today. But one thing that we deal with, and I've talked about before, is like you have to know your financials, right? And your money.
You don't have a business unless you know this.
Well, and for me, sometimes I get, sometimes I just call her and say, where's what? I get a sheet. I get a couple reports every week. And so I'm like in the promotion and operations side, but sometimes I get scared of the numbers, and I think other people do too. What do you say to that?
Oh, well, it's better to know them than to not know them. I mean, you don't want to walk in blind, and I mean, I guess sometimes it's a little less scary to do that, but if you don't know your numbers and you don't know what you have to work with, and you can't use that information to be crafty and to grow yourselves. And so I think if you really can focus and crack down on that, and I think that's what's happened with us over the last, 8 years, is we've really learned and honed in on what our capacity is and what we have to work with. And it's allowed us to really manipulate and use and form the money that we have or the resources that we have to grow our businesses and do more with it. The more we know about it, the more we can utilize it.
Yeah. So that is the right answer. And those of you who are not doing that, you're part of the 90% where your restaurants fail. Or, you've been there for 30 years and you're still there a lot. Anyway, I have a answer. Actually, I would just speak to the men out there, and the women can take for what it is. And that's why I like having you here. She's my ultimate woman perspective, especially in business. But to all the men, don't be a bitch. Look at your fucking financials. Get in your bank accounts. Look at them. Make sure someone's watching them. Know your payroll costs. Know all your costs. Know your goals. Otherwise, in this world, you're going to eat the fuck up.
It's not fun. It's not fun, though. But you have to do it.
I beg to differ. I think it's really fun.
It's fun.
It's not fun when you want to go buy something and you're like, well, I have to pay people first before I can go out and buy these things.
Well, yeah. And so, but the reality is profits set you free, and you want to know your profits and how to get there, because once you're profitable, it is a lot of fun.
Oh, you can do whatever.
I went through a time with her, and I would say sometimes in one of our companies, we deal with this kind of on purpose. But I would say, do we have any money? For fucking years. Now, every week I say, how much money do we have? Literally. But it took us how many years?
Probably 5 hard years.
5 hard years. But now it would only take us
that,
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I decided that if we go in strategized and planned, we can open a company, even a new concept, and have it profitable in 2 years.
Yeah.
At least from a cash flow perspective.
For sure.
Because we're casting vision out to the company, and we're talking about where we're going to grow and what we're going to do with these profits, right? Because profits set you free and give you options ultimately. And, and we're going to wait until March of next year to really strike, at minimum, probably later. But I told him, I said, my career, I just got a promotion. And that was because I'm making more money than I was last year. I have deeper relationships with the right people. And I'm talking about in all realms, from, people with the B, M to the bottom B, which is broke. But then with everybody buying into our companies, all these people that follow, including you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've chosen to follow me. Now we're kind of leading together. We are. And so it's been super cool. And, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I have to talk about this because I'm pissed off, because I grew up a poor kid, man. I didn't have shit. My parents worked hard, waitress as my mom and high-low driver as my dad. And so, it's pretty easy for me to get credit, right? Right now. And so on Saturday, we went to buy Susie, my wife, a Tahoe. And we were looking at Tahoes, and then we found one. And I told the guy, on Saturday, I said, can we take it home? She wants to know. We love Tahoes. This would be our third one. And he goes, yes. I told the guy, I said, we're probably going to buy it, but it's up to her. I said, she's picking the car. I'm doing the financing. I'll deal with the money. So I tell him that. And then Monday morning, he calls me. He wasn't supposed to call me. He was supposed to call Susie. I said, and I told him this on Saturday. I said, we're going to talk on Monday, but I'm super busy. I'm a CEO of a company. I said, I want to figure out how I'm going to do this, because I'm giving my Silverado to my senior in high school, and he's earning it it's all this stuff. But basically, I'm getting the Tahoe. Susie's getting a new Tahoe. My wife's getting a new Tahoe, and Ethan's getting the other car. And so I call him Saturday morning. I'm super busy. Blah, blah, blah. You need to call Susie. You shouldn't have called me. And she told him he's in meetings all day. He handles the money. I have A and B problem with it. We're going to have to wrap this thing up Wednesday, but I knew I could probably do it today, but today was busy as well. So it's Tuesday. We're recording this on a Tuesday. And so I was very clear, and he agreed with me. But then he called her and said, if you don't buy the car now and fill out the paperwork, and I'm being like extreme here, then someone else wants to look at it. And so I told.
Well, it's not a fast process. I mean,
it's $60,000. It was $60,000 plus taxes. I wanted to figure out, get with you.
Yeah.
What's our payment? What should I do? Mm-hmm. Should I put money down? If I put 20,000 down, what's the payment? If I put 10,000, we do all those analyzations. So I never met this guy. We went into 3 dealerships. On the third one, we found it. I said, let's go. It was exactly what
time
we
did he call and ask you that yesterday, or tell you that?
Well, I was very clear. I was clear, but a little more vague on Saturday. On Monday, I was super clear. And then, it happened about 1 o'clock. He told not me this, but.
Yeah. But still, I mean, I went and bought a car, same place. And it took like 4 hours. And it's not because I have complicated reasons to be buying a car. It just takes a long time. You can't call somebody at noon or 1 or whatever time on a weekday and be like, you have to come in and do this right now, or I'm giving it to someone else when you already have the car.
Also, honestly, I was in my sweatpants. I was in these same kind of shoes, but the ones that were kind of broke, like ripped. Mm-hmm. And I was wearing my Shaq jersey, although it's signed. I wore it on this podcast. And I felt the disrespect. And, we weren't like dressed up, but I'm like, I definitely felt like, So they said, what if you don't buy it? And I told them, she took it back. I was like, take that fucker back. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of fucked up. He lost 60,000. So we're in the market for a Tahoe. So any good car dealerships out there, give me a call. But it's funny because it's just a money thing. And then even when I was driving here, I got a call and it was like Auburn Hills or something, 248. And I take the call because our companies are connected to my cell phone sometimes. And the guy asked me if I needed any capital. And I laughed, and I always entertain these guys if I have time, and I knew I was coming to record this. And he goes, do you need working capital? Does your business need to grow? Do you need to expand? And he was talking real fast. I said, hey, man, like, can you just slow down? You're talking too fast. I go, what are you trying to offer me? And he asked me if I need working capital. And I said, the problem with you guys, and usually I've never done anything with anybody like this, probably in 15 years since I was desperate, because they're loan sharks. Mm-hmm. And I said, the problem with you guys, and I don't know if you're in that category of you guys, but you never can give me an interest rate. I go, I don't need the cash. I go, we're a company that wants to expand, and right now money is expensive and we want to do stuff. And so we're looking at interest rates and picking and choosing. He goes, well, how much money do you want to borrow? I said, $1 million. What's your interest rate? He goes, $1 million. And then he hung up on me. I'm like,
can't handle it.
Can't handle it. But listen, you're here, and you're probably, you're not on every week. I don't think any of us will be really. But I think that this is an opportunity, since you and I are sitting here, and I would say in our company, I work with you the most. Like, there's nobody I work with more. I'm physically with actually your husband maybe more than you, but I probably work. You're like, I work with you the most.
A lot.
And so you have a pretty cool story. So like, how did you go from living in a trailer, growing up in a trailer park? And I grew up in Taylor, Michigan, by the way. I graduated from Wyandotte. So all you Taylor Tucky people, let's go. Nope, that's a Satan sign. I don't want to do that. It is. But anyway, you grew up in, almost downriver, Michigan, which is south of Detroit.
Yeah, I did.
How'd you get here?
We moved around quite a bit when I was really young. I don't remember exactly what age we were when I moved into a trailer, probably like 4 or 5. And we lived there until I was maybe 13, in Westland, kind of close to Shacktown. It wasn't a great area. But my parents are really hard workers. They have always been really crafty with their money. And even though there wasn't a lot, and
I have to say I like your parents a lot.
Oh, my parents are hilarious.
They're cool. Well, they're different, but they're a little older than me, but we're close to the same age.
A little
Gen
older.
X.
My
lot
mom's
older.
like 6 months older than you.
Well, then your dad's a lot older.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
10 years.
He's like 5. But yeah, so I grew up in the trailer park in Westland, Michigan, and my dad, a really, really hard worker, strong work ethic. That I was homeschooled. My parents are religious, so I grew up in a Christian household. My dad worked really hard for his money. It was a good job. It just wasn't always enough. And he worked for the Wayne County Road Commission for, my whole childhood. Before that, he worked for Metro Airport through my life. And then now he works for like a private firm. But yeah, I think they really instilled from a young age that hard work and determination really pays off. And if you really want something, you will find a way to do it. We did various things growing up to earn extra money. We owned a furniture shop called Vintage Interiors on Howe Road in Wayne County, Michigan.
Yeah.
And it was right down the street from my dad's work. I was homeschooled. So my dad built this little room for me and my brother in this furniture shop. And we had all our homeschool stuff in there, and we'd pick up garbage on the side of the room.
One brother.
I have one brother, yeah. And we would drive around on all the garbage nights and pick up furniture out of people's yards.
Yes,
and
the garbage picking days.
It'd be like Monday,
Me
Tuesday,
too.
Wednesday night. And my mom would be like, I found this really cool buffet. And she'd bring it home and we'd like refinish it and then put it in the store.
That was before eBay.
This was before
My
eBay,
family did
yeah.
My wife still does this.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really popular now,
She
too.
makes me drive to places that she's seen trash on the side of the road.
I love a good garbage picking.
And I have to go get it, and then we refinish it. We have like 8 different pieces of furniture in our house that have been garbage picked.
Me
Oh
too.
yeah, me too. My house is crawling with cool old furniture.
my
Who knows what's in
gosh.
it?
Yeah.
So that was like that was our first like foray with business ownership. And I was probably like 5 or 6. I don't know.
Yeah.
We did that for a couple of years. Then
Your mom ran the shop?
my mom ran the shop. She owned it. She opened it. We gutted the whole place. My dad,
Wow.
he can build anything, built the whole thing. It was really cool. And then we stopped doing that. I don't know why. I don't remember why we closed it. I was really little. And then we did a paper route. And because I was homeschooled, my dad decided, let's do a double paper route. And so me and my brother and my mom and my dad
4
would
in the
get up
morning?
at like 2 in the morning
Yeah.
and go to the place. And me and my brother, and I don't even know if this is legal or not. So I was a perfectly
Doesn't matter
well-treated
now.
child. And my parents, I do not blame them for what we had to go through. Anyway, we used to have to roll newspapers in the back, and we'd have them ready, and we'd be like driving by like Birds, Big Pumpkins, and like all that stuff, driving and throwing our newspapers out.
That's
And
amazing.
we did that for a while and saved up enough money. And my mom and my grandmother decided to open a scrapbook store. And so that was my first real job where I had responsibilities.
Wait a second. Which grandmother?
The one you like, the pretty one,
Yeah, I like her.
the sassy one.
Yeah.
So we opened that. And that was right on Ford Road. You know where the Hobby Lobby is on Ford Road?
Yeah.
It was right there. So there's
Okay.
like the fireplace place. It was
Yeah.
in that building. My dad did all the work in there and made it all nice and pretty. And I was in charge of stickers. Stickers was my job.
And how old were you at this time?
Oh, I don't know. Probably like 10 or so.
Oh my
And I got my first business card.
I didn't know
So that was
this.
my first. I know. That's why I was excited to tell you today, because I thought it would be super like, you're like, oh. So this was my very first business card.
Oh.
And I was a worker bee. And I must have had a cell phone at that point, because I have a phone number on here, but I don't remember having that. Maybe it was my mom's number. I don't know. So we did that for a long time, and then that closed again. I don't remember why that closed, because I was a kid and it wasn't really part of my decision making or whatever. And then after that, I danced for years growing up actually through college. I was a dancer. And when I turned 14, I got a job teaching at the Livonia Recreation Center ballet to little kids. And I was like,
so you were like
assisting.
a 14-year-old teaching like 6-year-olds.
Yeah, but I was the assistant teacher. And a lot of times they do that. Like you start getting older and you start teaching like 2, 3, 4, or 5-year-olds. And that was my first job that I like got paid regularly for.
$4.25 an hour?
No, she paid me $30 for an hour and a half of work. I was
Whoa, man.
yes, and it was cash.
Freaking
It was
baller,
awesome.
dude.
I was like,
Dude, this was like 1987.
no, that's not true. She paid me $30 an hour, but sometimes she would pay me in like other ways. Like she would take me and buy me point shoes or whatever for my dance stuff. So she was a dancer at my studio. She was older. She would drive me and like take me to lunch sometimes. If she paid me in cash, and it was $30 for the day, and it was like an hour and a half of work. It was not easy because it was like 40 like 3-year-olds, but it was still fun. I loved it. And after that, I was like, I can do this myself. So I decided I was going to do it myself, but I put a twist on it because there's a lot of different options for dance studios and stuff. And I was really young, and I decided I was going to make my own business, which was Ballerina Birthday Parties by Miss Brighton. So I made business cards.
Wait a second. Ballerina birthday parties.
Yes. $10 a kid. It didn't matter how many kids there was. I didn't put a cap on it. And I would come to the birthday party for 2 hours and teach them a dance, and they got to make a tutu. So I had CDs that my mom helped me make with our scrapbook supplies. That was the older girls one and the younger girls one. They got all the songs and dances on the back. I just found all this stuff, so it was like great for chatting. My daughter was like, "Whoa." And then I had my business cards.
Eden, your daughter, she dances now.
She dances now, yes, and she's 7.
Mama got her in a dance. Yeah.
So we used my, we made business cards. It had my phone number on it, and people could call me for their ballerina birthday parties. Ballerina Birthdays by Miss Brighton. And whatever. So I got my first job. I was so excited. My mom had to drive me because I was like 14. It was like 2008. So I show up to the party. I got all the stuff, and they have like, I don't know, 20 kids or something like that. And so I do the hour and a half, and the lady gives me, it's like $200. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Was there
14
20
years
kids?
old. Yeah, first time.
Sure.
And I was like, yes. And then she's like, and I have a tip for you too. And I was like, I get a tip? It was like $250. I was 14 years old. I was like, these parents are loaded is what I was thinking.
You know, people spend money at weddings, funerals, and birthday parties.
Yeah. And so that was pretty much where I was like, yeah, I want to do my own thing. I don't want to be some worker bee for somebody or whatever. And so I did that for a couple of years. Then I started college, and it kind of fell off, and I tried to dance through college and had to stop doing that. And that's kind of where it all started. I got a job at a bank. Before that, I scooped ice cream. That was like $8 an hour.
Yeah. So. Well, you know, I'm really fascinated with the scrapbook thing and the fact you like furniture store. I feel like I've heard about that, but then maybe we should start that. Alex, what do you think? Brighton can restart. What did you call it?
Ballerina Birthday Parties by Miss Brighton.
I mean, my sisters do ballet, so
do they?
If, you need some workers.
Yes. So I got Alex here. He's one of our assistant, but he's my assistant, Brighton's assistant. He's our pigeon
boy,
messenger pigeon.
Sorry,
but
Alex.
I want
Basically.
I want to say something like it's super impressive, and I guess I didn't realize a lot of similarities that we had. I guess putting it all together. And super impressive.
Hood rat kids.
Like, exactly. That makes a lot of sense. But I think your parents were probably better than mine. But when we were that age, well, I'm older than you, so I got to run around everywhere. You know what I mean?
That. My mom's a micromanager.
Yeah, but they set that example.
For sure.
I guess like for me, and I've known your parents for almost 10 years now, and like them a lot. But I guess what I'm seeing here is that. Big corporations, they don't care about that shit, and our company does. And I honestly care about that. And it makes sense because it trained you for what you're doing today.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. I love it. It was cool.
Nice job.
Wild childhood.
Nice job. So, Alex, you said you got something. You got something you want to say to Brighton.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
we had like 6 hours of meetings yesterday, and
Tons.
I was thinking back to our episode. It was like, I think 3 back when we first had Brighton on, and we were talking about her balancing being a mom and CFO at our company. I'm walking past Brighton's office to go like finish writing the minutes or something, and I see Brighton double monitor setup with like financials and emails open, and then Brighton on the floor changing a diaper. And it just it reminded
Kid
me.
shit his pants in the office, okay?
Yeah. Well, that I don't, Tyler, her husband, and they bring in the kids sometimes.
Yeah.
And I always like it because, I just have fun and then leave or come back. I go have fun with them, leave, come back, have fun with them, leave, and
Yeah,
they
you
have to
gave them,
change
like,
the shitty
2
diapers.
cookies yesterday, and he was bouncing off
Oh,
the
yeah.
walls.
I gave him a cookie.
I think you
Anyway,
gave him an
but
extra. Oh no, Susie gave
we
him one and you gave him one.
I like that family stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's cool, but I know it's hard for you. I told Tyler, I said you can bring him in on Mondays. He goes,
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
No.
not. So, but anyway, so yeah, I'm proud to work with you.
Well, thank
You
you.
know that.
I love what we do, so
Yeah.
it's cool.
So we're going through some transitions right now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're making some actually, I call them big pivots,
Mm-hmm.
enhancements. We're doing some promotion, like promoting some people, such as Alex got promoted,
Mm-hmm.
but we're also demoting or rearranging
Shifting.
the chessboard.
Yes.
What would you say to that?
I think it's vital to success. If you stay stagnant and don't make the necessary changes to move yourself forward, then you're just going to stay where you are. And I know I don't want to stay where we are. I'm happy where we are. I think you are probably too, but we know it can be better.
No, I'm not. I'm
Content?
no. No, I would say that like I'm very happy with the results of our hard work thus far and the success that we've had, but I
we
am
ain't
not
done
at all
yet.
satisfied, and I'm not at all I'm genuinely happy as a human, but there's a lot of things I'm unhappy with. I think that's going to be the way it is till the day I die.
Yeah, we can be better.
So we went in and I think we shocked the system because there was a lot of things that got changed that
In like a week.
well, it wasn't a week. We got to the 6-month point of this year. We saw what we did, and my job is to make things better and fix problems and grow the companies. And I saw some areas where we can grow, some areas we needed to fix, and some areas we needed to change. And that particularly is with the Grateful Crow.
Yeah.
And that is because it's time for next level, like Mario Brothers.
I was going to make a Mario sound, but I don't know him off the top of my head.
Do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Elijah, get a Mario sound in there.
I'll throw it in there. Write a note.
Okay. So we're making some changes, and none of these changes are have to do with terminating anybody, actually.
That's awesome.
However, when I was doing that big meeting, there was like 50 people there, right? And I was speaking. You're always watching.
Yeah, I was sitting in the back of the room.
You're watching,
surveying.
and how when we're doing these meetings and talking about some, I don't think they're drastic, but when people are set in their ways or like they're happy with where they're at, or that's not really a mesh with us in certain areas. But I was wondering what people were thinking because I saw a variety of different looks.
Yeah, I think I saw a variety of different looks too. And there's definitely people that are on our bus, ready to go, ready to do the next thing. And they're excited and gung-ho about it. And there is some other people that they're not going to make it.
Well, and that's why I'm saying we're not terminating, but we have to make these enhancements in order to take our company to the next level. So essentially we're redoing our org chart.
Yeah.
Org chart. Not orc, although we could name it whatever we want, but what's an org chart? And What does it stand for?
The organization chart for a company is just the layout of the hierarchy of who's in charge, who's highest on the totem pole, and who do you go to for what. And it just gives clarity on the system and who needs to get what accomplished. So if you look at one, you can say, yes, I need to go to her because my paycheck is wrong. Or yes, I need to go to them because I want some advertising in this area, or I need some operations help, or I need some marketing skills, or a marketing connoisseur, or whatever.
Yeah. And this is like when you start getting bigger, I think it's essentially chain of command, right?
Yeah.
Chain of command. So Alex, I asked you to just pick a couple org charts from some companies. So who'd you go with?
I think the first one we have up here is Johnson and
Johnson Control.
Johnson Control.
Not
Yep.
Johnson and Johnson. This is not baby oil or diapers. This is actually a company in the automotive industry.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. And so they actually make like interiors to cars, and I think at one point in the 90s or early 2000s, they were the largest battery supplier in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they just made seats.
No, they do all kinds of things. And actually, I have a very close friend, and very, very close friend,
Yeah.
who was in the hierarchy there. And he's the one that actually told me years ago, look at your org chart. And when I met with him a couple weeks ago, the first thing on my agenda to talk to him was my organization and the rearranging with everybody buying in. But I didn't get a chance to tell him my first thing, because his first thing was, hey, man, let's take a look at your org chart. So he's looking at our financials. He's listening to us because we talk to him a lot. He's a fantastic guy. I don't know if you'd want me to say his name, but he was he was like kind of associated with this company.
Yeah.
So this is a board of advisors. So we're actually putting that together. We're talking about that, which is basically our shareholders.
Getting our crew together,
Yeah.
and getting them to be able to have their voice and their say.
Well, I was going to say committee, but then when I was board of advisors, I forgot.
Yesterday?
Because I am from Taylor, and like I never went to I graduated from high school late, and I dropped out of college and only passed world religions.
Oh, I graduated early and went into college.
That's why I have you here. But one of my favorite entrepreneurs, who I think is the greatest of our generation, is it looks like, is that Elon Musk up there, Alex?
Sure is.
Yep.
Okay, so what's his title there?
CEO and Technoking.
I think they just make this shit up.
Dude,
I mean, they have to.
We keep talking about like Mitch, like the
Muscle
other day.
Mitch.
Muscle Mitch is like
Can that just be
Vice
his title?
Vice
President.
President of Operations and Muscle Mitch.
yeah, and personal trainer to the everybody. But anyway, yeah. So I like that. He had
I want a good
Technoking.
one. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to think
my
about
my
that.
title is CEO and Creative Director.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do something like I only use I'm the CEO of a company when I have to, like with like that guy that the fucking car.
When you're trying to
I
get
gave him
something
my
out of someone.
fucking card. He goes, "Oh yeah, I love you. I've heard of your restaurant. That's really cool." I'm like, "Have you been to the fucking Grateful Crow? Go there on a Friday night."
Oh wait, you can't because we're full. No. You gotta get a reservation.
Yeah. I don't know if we let.
A reservation that you will never actually get sat down. You will spend 5 hours
Here's where.
waiting.
Here's the problem. He was being a car salesman rather than an entrepreneur and like great customer service. And he should have realized he had a fish on hand, because my son wants to buy a Tacoma, but he's interested in like something else. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were about to do a second one. That's not to say we're only going to go through this guy if the Tahoe went through, but it's not now. Fuck your Tahoe. I'm going to find a Tahoe. I love Tahoes, man.
Director Eric Demler down at the bottom of this. Director HR Gigafactory.
What?
We got to study this.
I need to know.
Oh my God.
That might be a city.
No.
Because it says, Berlin. What does gigafactory mean?
Who knows?
Tesla has multiple gigafactories that like they've built in. That's what Musk calls them. They've built them in Texas.
What are
they? They're like these massive just plants, like
like a Ford
factories
plant
that they build the cars in.
Tesla.
Oh, okay. So they just call them gigafactories
A
instead of an
gigafactory
automotive plant.
Is a large manufacturing facility that produces large quantities of batteries.
Oh, batteries.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
'cause
cars
he-
are batteries,
yeah.
pretty much. The car has to be a battery.
Gigafactory.
Wow, that's fucking cool. So we're doing this, and I think the reality is this always gives someone an opportunity to step up.
Yeah.
And we get to, and I get to, and we do. I get the opportunity to mentor a lot of young people, and honestly, it's just like I love the generation 20 to 30, 20 to 29, but. Yeah, so you're almost out of it because you're going to be 30.
Yeah.
But like Alex, like it started, at 14 years old, and he worked with our company, right? 15?
14.
14?
2 months before I turned 15.
Yeah, but then you became, now he's got a promotion, and I've mentored him, and he's called me about stuff, and he brings a lot of information to me too, because that's what I like about mentorships. I'm willing to learn, like.
Yeah, he tells you all about gigafactories.
Gigafactories. That's what I was saying.
Just the plethora of information.
But as I'm talking, you can see the people that are studying, and you can see the people that aren't,
Yeah,
that
I
are
could see
growing
it
and who aren't.
yesterday from behind the meeting.
And like, if anything on this podcast, it's just smack you in the face, and you should ask that question. So like org chart and all this stuff comes from one of my favorite books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So like for me, I go to it. And it's I didn't really look at things like the actual org chart. I'm going to actually study Elon's stuff, but like it's helping me with the people skills. You know what I mean? And then like I'm reading this book, and I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and it's launching a leadership revolution. And because I'm starting to give two shits about emotions when they're illegitimate. But I can't read. I don't have my glasses. You're going to have to do it. See where the star is? Hold on. Look at the star. Take a look at it. Let me talk about it real fast.
Okay. You want?
Now, listen. I want to say this. If you want to grow in life and grow in our company, and you want to be a leader, and like, what is a leader? A leader isn't just making people money. You know what I mean? And I'm looking into people's eyes as we're rearranging things, and I see a little bit of fear, and I see a lot of excitement. You excited, Alex?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of opportunity to grow that I've seen opening and developing. And then I'm also glad that we have to be held more accountable to our actions, because I know I've had my ups and downs in the past 3 years. And I feel like I'm going on an up right now, but I know I was slipping a few months ago. And just the way we've been pushing the company has forced me, and I've seen other people have to hone in and like get more focused on what we're doing.
Yeah. And what it does is like some people are just going to they want to come in and work 3 days a week and make some cash. Yeah. As long as they do a good job.
You need people like that.
We need that. Yeah.
You
we
need
have
a
to have
you need
that.
a workhorse that just puts their head down and just does one task or a couple tasks, and that's it. That's all they want.
Yeah, but like here, read this. This is real good. This is leadership in a whole.
Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. People have so many misconceptions about leadership. When they hear that someone has an impressive title or an assigned leadership position, they assume that he is a leader. Sometimes that's true, but titles don't have much value when it comes to leading. True leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence, and that can't be mandated. It must be earned.
Yeah, it has to be earned. And you know what? For years, I haven't been operating in that because I was like scared and a bitch. Like I've been looked in my mirror by myself and just called myself a bitch so many times, and I'm kind of done with it. You know what I mean? And so we're like freedom fighters, man, to wake people up, because when I talked about me getting a promotion, the money's nice, and like the relationship's nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are. But what is the best part about it is those people that are doing it with me, side by side, where I can be myself. I mean, even yesterday, our chef Joe, right before the meeting, he put his hand on my chest and he said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm anxious." He goes, "I know." And he says, "Calm down, you got this." And I just walked in, and he's a partner, right?
Oh yeah, he was standing next to me through the meeting. He's got some good insight. He was helping me observe.
I love him. And so we're going to see who's going to go to the next level in our company, who wants to make more money. And like Alex, he's like thinking, fuck, I don't have to go to college.
Yeah.
Except we might put you in attorney school, but
Yeah, I think we need that.
Yeah. So
I don't want to be that anymore.
Yeah. And I just feel bad. I feel like freedom fighters, and I'm trying to wake people up because I think, we chose not to talk really a bunch of politics today, and Brighton doesn't really like it. She likes talking this stuff, and so do I, because this isn't a political podcast. This is a life podcast.
Yep.
And, I think the real virus is like low self-esteem, and there's so much into it because you are watching.
I was watching people
and
yesterday after the meeting.
What'd you see?
There's probably 3 groups of people. There's 2 people that stand out in particular in the ranges here, but I'd say the first group I noticed is there is some people, and one person in particular I was watching, that is just positively giddy about the options and the ideas and the potential to have more responsibility and to grow with our company. And she was excited. Like I was blown away. I actually did not know this of her, and I was watching and I was like, wow, that's awesome. Then there's the middle people. I can't
wait to hear who it is.
I'm not saying.
When I bump into him, I'll just smile.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
And then there's the middle class. The people that they're content to ride on the bus and go where we're going, and they're looking for us for leadership, and we're saying, hey guys, this is what we're gonna do, and they're like, all right. And I love those people. And then there's one person in particular I had my eyes on this whole time, and I cannot believe their reactions. They were just like, they were appalled.
Like while the managers were talking?
While you were talking, while the managers were talking, they were just shaking their head no. I watched them turn around and roll their eyes. I don't think this person knows who I am. So when I'm standing there, because I don't actually introduce myself to people unless you guys do. A lot of people don't know who you are.
You're actually kind of like a myth and a legend.
Yeah.
I think that might be a good thing.
It's totally good.
I like walking in there and being a spy. Or any of our places.
Well, it's like undercover boss.
I have to say this. I told them about Alex, about Tay, who's going and stuff. I said they will tell me everything that I need to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm being, dude, I was so transparent. Like nobody can tell me shit that I didn't tell them if they were in that room.
And no single person was pointed out.
No, of course not.
As doing a bad job. We did reward some people for good jobs.
Yeah.
But
we blanketed the
bad shit. I was half expecting this person to stand up and walk out of the room.
It's almost like they had some like harbored resentment.
Yeah.
That they just
weren't
expressing.
That's what I'm talking about with the virus, and we see this.
Yes.
So like, well put, and I don't think I've ever heard you put it that way, but I'm not surprised that that's how you saw it because, I think it's 7 Habits. It says reward the top, train the middle, and cut the bottom.
Yeah, I know.
And
who's
so
getting rewarded and who's getting cut.
The virus is that like entitlement or not being a student, which is pretty much our number one core value is be a student. Be a student. And so we don't want that type of people because you know what we do? We make a money.
And we're not, to be clear, we're not just making money for ourselves.
No.
We are making money, and we want every single person that works for us to also make money and reach their goals. That is one of our, that makes us feel so good.
Yeah.
When we can give and do extra for our staff and change their lives. And we've done it a lot of times, and we want to keep doing it. We want to do it at a larger scale. And the only reason that we're implementing these changes and hitting this so hard is because That is our goal.
So on to our next segment. You know, this podcast, as I will repeat myself many times, it was first, the idea was a training system for our teammates. I hate using the word employee until someone does something bad. I'm serious. They work with me, not for me. We all have our roles. And so we put together a little Q&A from our employees. And so I thought this is a good time to start this part of our podcast, you and I.
Okay. Let's
and
do
so
it.
You don't know these questions.
I have no idea what's about to happen. I'm a little nervous.
Well, I know who it is, at least 4 of the 5, but I don't know what they're going to ask. So this here is Miss Mama Rini, really.
Noreen.
Noreen will be the first
She's a
person.
river rat, too.
She is from Taylor. She ended up in Chelsea, and so she will probably be the first person to retire with our company.
She will be.
She is
a lifer.
She is the definition of a lifer, entertainer or waitress, but she hammers it. And she lives on a lake, and
she would never do anything else.
She gets her hair done every month, and
nails.
She takes care of herself. She has money, so she does good. So anyway, let's see what Rini has to ask.
So, my question to you is, what is your opinion of country music?
Oh boy.
Well, I know why she asked this, because we have a couple rules in our places, and one is no AC/DC and no country music.
No AC/DC?
Well, I've warmed up to it, but let's talk about country music. What do you think?
What my opinion is?
Yes.
Oh, I love some of it, and I can get down with it, but that means I want to be at a bar drinking a beer, which I don't even like drinking beer, and line dancing. If it's not in that specific order,
I just love the extreme of that.
If it's not in that order, I don't want to listen to it.
Listen, I understand, and I grew up. I'm 50% from the South, from North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I'm a Carolina boy. My grandma was born and raised in Stanley, North Carolina.
Mine's from West Virginia.
And I grew up with NASCAR and old school country music like Hank Williams Jr. and Hee Haw. Remember Hee Haw?
I have no idea.
Dude,
who that
look
is.
up Hee Haw. We got to put a clip of Hee Haw on this. Hee Haw's great. So I grew up on that.
No, I like Brad Paisley or like Rascal Flatts.
Yeah,
or
I'm talking
something.
about
I don't know.
Hank Williams. And like,
I know Hank Williams.
Rascal Flatts.
So for me,
Cars.
as we got older and country music became more like rock and roll, I was kind of like anti it. I was like, no.
I thought I was too cool for country music, but it turns out I'm not if there's a good barn party or something.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's the best time for country music, but I've been warming up to it as I'm getting closer to a half a century. I've become like more in tune with like solace and emotional, and it's love music, and I love Led Zeppelin, and I love the Black Crowes, so I like country music, so I'm a big fan, but you can only play it.
But God bless rock and roll.
God bless rock and roll. You can only play it if there's some line dancing going on at our restaurant.
And Rini's got to lead it.
Next question.
How do you feel about the new vice president and the fact that he's not going to have any morals and he'll change his mind based on whatever President Trump tells him to do?
Oh. I thought we weren't talking about politics here today.
Okay.
Whoa.
Well,
no, I think you need to answer this one.
I can actually hit this, and I understand, because he douched on Trump, 8 years ago, or 2016.
But people aren't entitled to their opinions and changing them.
Well, I think that really comes down to it. I'm glad he didn't choose an establishment person, and I actually, when I watched, we have businesses in Ohio, and I watched J.D. Vance run for president or run for Senate, right? Mm-hmm. And the president endorsed him, and he got elected. I didn't really like his haircut, to be honest with you. I thought, like, guys with a haircut like that, I don't know. But he's actually changed his hair. Look, from when he ran for Senate until now, it looks a little better. But my thing is you can change your opinion. Just like I changed my opinion because I voted for Clinton and I was a supporter of Obama with the first one. You know what I mean? Well,
interesting.
I don't think I voted for him, but I probably should have, because I think he was running against John McCain, I think. But I did not like John McCain. I think I voted for John McCain out of like Christian values, which was a lie. But I wanted unity. I wanted to bring people together. And I just wonder, this guy who was a Marine, right? Mm-hmm. Military, has a business, an author, husband, all that stuff, him being the next generation. And I think in regards to him changing his mind, I think we can all change our mind, Aubrey. I love you. And and I know that you've seen me change my mind, and you too. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Next question.
I love it. That's my girl. I want to say
Look at
something.
her sassy face.
Yeah, and she sat at my table yesterday when I did this meeting on purpose, and I actually said that she was the best restaurant manager that I've ever worked with.
Oh, I love Aubrey.
And so I love our relationship because she can fucking hammer me.
I will point out,
and it can be good.
It's important for people to have different values, because our country would not function without that.
My best guy friend in our company, who's a partner, is a moderate liberal. And I love him, and we bicker, and it's fun. And her and I have bickered, and it's fun. And a matter of fact, the person I've bickered the hardest with was fucking you about politics.
Probably. I mean, I would have loved RFK for VP.
I thought something was happening,
but
I don't
apparently
know.
not.
That's why I decided we have our snow globe and fuck taxes. And you and I agree on that together, Aubrey and everybody else. Fuck so much taxes.
All right, next question.
Hey, Jason, Ryan Slane here.
Slane.
I was wondering why you chose the food service industry over getting into some manufacturing, working your way up there, or skilled trades or something.
Skilled trades.
Why food service. How did that go?
Oh, our beloved UAW electrician, skilled trades master.
We
love him.
We love him. I can't believe we love him. I can't believe you love him.
I just think he's so quirky, and he rattles something off out of nowhere, and I'm like,
well, he's
quick.
Yeah, he is. He's witty. Well, he works in Clock Tower, and he's one of our big leaders in Clock Tower. He does a lot of our grading and buying, and he's our comic expert. And he got hired by, basically it was like this. He came in all the time. He was a quiet guy. And then he was sitting at our bar all the time.
I want to know, did Caesar purposefully pick a bunch of liberals to ask these questions to?
Oh yeah, because he's a moderate. He's a moderate union
Just
guy,
kidding.
But he's voting for Trump. I hope he needs to. He knows money, because we talk about money, and he was in the trades, plumbing, HVAC,
Caesar
all
was?
that stuff. No, Slane.
Oh.
And he was working for us.
Yeah.
And he was working hourly a couple days a week, and he got laid off after 9 years dedicated to this family company that had sold it. And he came in, he's like, I don't want to go back there. So he basically took like a $40,000 a year cut to work in a fucking comic shop.
With my husband.
Yeah. And your husband did the same. And like took cuts because they were tired of being fucking pawns and like numbers, and they wanted to do something significant. And so
now they're just a bunch of boys in there,
and now they're
with their
great.
cards
But
and comics.
we were struggling at first, but he has made that. He's a prime example of someone that knew. Not only did he take less money, and not only could we not afford him, and he knew that, he made himself valuable.
He most certainly has.
He has made himself valuable in so many areas. And I think the thing with me, he's made his self most valuable with me, has nothing to do with financially or any kind of work he does, is that he's a sound he's a sound voice for me.
He is, yeah.
He's very he knows how to talk to me. He knows when I get hyped up, because I'm the hype guy. And he's great. But to answer your question, Slaner, I think it really started with my mom being a waitress. And she started off as a salad girl at Big Boy. Then she was a hostess. Then she was a waitress. So I ended up getting a job at McDonald's because she suggested it. And she didn't start working until I was like 12 or 10. Like, I was older. She was a stay-at-home mom. And so I would go to Big Boys. I would eat Big Boys. My dad would take us there while she was working. Then she went to Denny's, and that's really where I got my good start. And I did that, but I think most importantly, I realized that I liked entertaining people and making people happy. And that's why we are in the entertainment business and hospitality industry, because
it's fun.
And also, in regards to the business move, it's consumable goods. I like consumable goods. You know.
Yeah, me too.
We sell beer, pizza, sushi, burgers, salads, chicken
Ice cream,
wings,
brownies.
We sell bread pudding, shrimp scampi, and steak, and sushi,
Craft cocktails,
and many other things. So it's like that, and we sell comic books. So, yeah, man, it's consumable. I love the entertainment industry, and ultimately, I feel it's my purpose. It's fun too.
It is fun.
Next question.
If there was one song that you could listen to over and over again on repeat, what would it be and why?
Ooh, you go first.
Oh, I don't know. That's really hard to answer.
Life is a highway, Rascal Flatts.
No. It was just the first country song I could come up with, or singer, okay? I'm going to be like roasted for that forever. I don't think I can pick a song. I think I really can only pick like a band, and I
like
could
an
listen.
album?
No, not even an album, I don't think. I really like Led Zeppelin.
You do.
Yeah,
I know.
love Led Zeppelin.
I love those mornings I come in.
I could do Cat Stevens. There
And
could be a
you're
Cat
listening to
Stevens
that,
song I
yeah.
could listen to every day, probably.
Yeah, it's cool.
Moonshadow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we both have a variety of music. I like it all, and we're
yeah.
going to warm up the
I
country.
can tell you what Jude could listen to every day for the rest of his life.
That's your 2-year-old.
Yeah, my 2-year-old is currently obsessed with Dragula by Rob Zombie.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's the mom.
I got a video.
No wonder
you should
he
see
bites his sister. I would say I'm serious. You got to be careful with that. I've been to Rob Zombie's. I seen POD right here at Rob Zombie's like ice rink venue.
Have you ever
with
watched any of his
ICP.
movies?
What?
His
Yeah.
movies?
Yeah.
All right. Pick
the
a
Halloween.
song.
Halloween. Well, I was getting to that. So I actually I'm OCD. I eat the same things a lot.
Yeah, you could probably pick a song pretty easy.
I do songs, but I either do artists or bands, but I'll go albums, and I have different playlists. So I just got out of literally diving deep into, for the first time, I'm like diving deep. And obviously I'm a 90s child, but Chris Cornell. And so I went on like a playlist, and for probably almost the first half of this year, all I did was listen to Chris Cornell and his message and certain things. And there was other bands too, but I would say Chris Cornell. But what I am doing now, and what a great question, Carly. And Carly is our AGM at the Grateful Crow. Mm-hmm. She did a great meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
She's like the queen of like games to teach people.
She loves to come up with some kind of shenanigans to really complicate things. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she always likes to mind fuck things.
Yeah,
so,
she does. And she's a giant Anthony Bourdain fan.
Yeah, I love Anthony too. But I would say right now, like for me, music is an influence. Like the not just the vibrations. Read into that. We should bring that up sometime. And
that's
that's wild.
It's a cool topic. So the
Then people are
vibrations
gonna think
matter.
I'm a bad mom for letting Jude listen to Dragula, though.
You are a bad mom for doing that. At least in that
I think
area.
that's better than Baby Shark.
Oh my God.
Or like Lady Gaga. No, not good. Your daughter probably dances to Lady Gaga.
I don't know. She might know some songs. I don't know.
But I like it, the vibrations, and it has to be like, when I got in the car today, and I mentioned it earlier that I listened to something chill. Josh Garrell, as a matter of fact, who I love. Yes. But yes, I love Josh. Anyway, but
Andy just made some really weird moaning noises over here.
I heard
we
it.
need to talk about Josh, because I known Josh, not really personally, but been listening to him since before.
Really?
He got big, like back in the day, like his first, like Jacaranda.
Oh, I love Josh Garrell's. Been listening to him for about
40.
It's not called Jacaranda, but I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like back then.
Yeah. I never really dove into it, but I know what
Yeah, so I did that. Then I seen the Dead Deer, so I turned on POD, which has been my their new album.
You know what? We didn't even give a shout out to the Grateful Dead in this segment.
You know, that's okay. I like the Grateful Dead, but this is more important.
Brown Eyed Woman's a good one.
Yeah, I just hit albums, and it's what God is speaking to me. It's like what's going on with me. I was just in a Gojira state, too, and then they
for a
played the
minute.
Olympics, and I deleted them. But,
All right.
yep. Thanks, Carly.
What do you think about Trump being shot?
Okay. Here's what I think about Trump being shot. And we did this on a couple episodes. I don't know what episode it was, but I think that although he praised the CIA or the Secret Service and was super graceful and thankful, I think it was an inside job. I don't think it was some kid. And if it was, I mean, like maybe it was the kid and he got paid for it and it's dark money because there is dark money out there. And so it was an inside job because there's no way that roof would be open like that if it wasn't. And that's all I got to say about that.
I think Renee and Carly were on the right track with their questions here.
Yeah.
Music.
So, yeah. So what? Yeah, I know it was good. So what's the next question?
Keisha.
I don't know. I have no idea. This is too much. This is on the spot. You can't do this to me.
That's it, Keisha.
You know what? Here's the deal. She will get up and talk. She's an introvert. She's an introverted extrovert. And she runs the Rumpus Room. That's our music venue. And she's great and been with us almost 10 years. But I can tell you what, when she first started, she was a hostess and she didn't talk to anybody.
I remember her first day.
She was so shy. And
I
she'll
remember
do
before
this.
she worked for us.
She'll do it, but you have to give her heads up. And I told him I told him to go to her. And then I said Aubrey will do it. I knew Aubrey would do it.
Oh, for sure. Carly, for sure.
Yeah,
Renee,
they knew that.
You never have to ask them.
Yeah, so that is our Q&A for today. I hope that you learned a little bit about us.
So, our segment 3 is supposed to be really like upbeat and ending it on a positive note.
Yeah.
And, it's supposed to just be like a nice send off to the week.
Yeah, we talk about so many things that are heavy, and like the business stuff, we laugh a lot. We it's a game, right? We got to have fun.
Yeah.
Doing this, but we talk about a lot of heavy stuff and like
we do.
Politics and stuff.
So we got to have fun.
Yeah. So I guess what happened? How's your life?
Well, speaking of send offs. So I'm driving here all happy this morning, kind of getting my head in the zone.
Yeah, we drove separate. We live right by each other. And I was like, I'm not driving with you. She goes, I don't want to. I
like to listen to my book. I'm never alone. I have 2 kids. I got a husband. I got, these companies and everyone along with that. And the driving alone time, that's the alone time I get.
Yeah.
So I'm just in the zone listening to my book. And I pull in and I'm sitting here and I look over and I don't know. Maybe it's not funny. I think it's funny. It's a little dark.
What is it?
But it's just, I look over and this is what I see.
You look over where? You were parked here?
I was parked. This was here. I just am like getting in the zone. I was early. And I'm like getting ready. And I'm
What is that, a funeral home or a church across the street?
It's a church, and they're unloading this poor dead guy.
Oh. You sent that to me, so you were like, hey, sharing this. I'm like, on my way here.
I was
like,
just like, wow, that's morbid. I was like, hype. I'm ready to go, and I look over.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Wow.
There it is. And I just would like to point out, it all comes full circle, and we're all going to be there one day, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we talked about actually opening a funeral home someday.
I can get behind that.
Well, we've talked about it.
That doesn't bother me.
But apparently there's like the funeral home mafia. Do you know that? Like that goes back like centuries.
Really?
Yeah, look into it.
I'll have to look
Let's
into
get
that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like everybody has to eat, everybody dies. I mean,
it is.
Why did we dies. It's hospitality industry. It has to be.
I don't think I could do. I mean, I could do it, but I don't want to be the person that stands there opening the door for people to walk into funerals.
I could do it.
You could do it.
And I've done like 9 funerals.
Yeah.
And I've done 1 wedding, and I'll never do that again. But I will.
I'd do a wedding.
I do funerals. My funerals are great.
Actually,
I love
weddings.
You've been to a bunch of my funerals.
I've been to a bunch of your funerals.
We've done
weddings.
we've done funerals
I can
together.
do some weddings. I can get down with those. I've been a maid of honor quite a few times, and
You're fine.
I can make everyone in the room shed a tear for whoever's getting married. I love it.
I have to say you're probably in the top 5 of people to have fun with while drinking.
Oh, that's probably because I don't do it that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you just sometimes I'll go to your husband, Ty, and I'll be like, here she comes. Or he'll say, hey, Brian's drinking. And we just laugh. It's fun. You make things good.
Giddy.
You make things good.
That's good.
Yeah. And it's like while you're like, this is like from a life perspective, but definitely from an entrepreneur perspective is like you have all these issues that you deal with, like with business and like things breaking down and things costing and financials and all this stuff. But then you have like your life you deal with like common things. So like with this entered your mind, and then this thing entered my thumb.
Ew.
So it's big ass spider. Okay. So wait, check it out. We caught it here. Look at that fucker. Okay. So I had a problem. Dude, I had a problem, and I was like, I swear to God, my thumb started hurting, and I was like, I think that I smashed it. Because you ever like, Alex, like an athlete, or you like you're moving stuff and you hurt yourself and then forget about it, and then later on it like hurts. That's what I thought. I'm like, fuck, my thumb's hurting, and all of a sudden it started getting bigger. Look at this.
Let me see. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did you do it? I'm not watching. I haven't seen it. I didn't even watch.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Just make it a little tender. Just squeeze it.
Yeah, that hurts.
Oh God. That's so bad. Ooh.
She let me record it. I loved it. What a great. That was the. Oh, this is such good footage. Thank you. It's so much better.
I can do a lot of things, but that is not one. She squoze. I'm going to squoze.
Yeah, so that was my week, and I dealt with it. And when I walked in, it was like 5 o'clock. And I told them, I'm leaving at 6 o'clock no matter what. If you have to put something in my veins, I'm ripping it out, because I was not missing my kids' first scrimmage game football. And they did it. That was one of the best experiences of my life.
That was Friday.
That was Friday.
How's your finger look now?
Dude, it looks pretty good. Look at it.
Yeah, it barely looks like anything.
I've been taking care of it. I've been putting stuff on it. But
did you terrify any of the
Spider
kids at
bites.
the game with your thumb?
No, it was wrapped up.
No, I had a big thumb. I kept having to bump people because I don't shake with my left hand, because that's an insult.
And you
know
can't
that?
shake with a fake ass handshake. You gotta really grip a person.
I like the fist bump. I'm fine with it. I'm a fist bump kind of guy, or I'll hug you. But that's about it. But I do. All right. So we're at the end of this thing, but I got to mention something, because this is important business stuff. So I was at the Ugly Dog Distillery. We're actually one of their top accounts, but they had a food truck called it's Cousin's Maine Lobster. Okay. And so Cousin's Maine Lobster has been there a lot, and they're always telling me about how the lobster trucks sells out. And so I happened to be driving by on Saturday, and there was the lobster truck, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop. And I had it, and then I figured it out, because I had it all over, that this has been in my refrigerator since we'll get a picture of this, since Saturday. I had one. I ate the lobster tater tots, and those were really good. But I think I'm going away from lobster and shrimp and stuff. I'm fading away from it. But it was really good. I thought the product was awesome. But this thing was on Shark Tank.
Really?
Yeah, I seen it on Shark Tank. Like, it might have been 10 years.
Oh,
it wasn't
like
quite
a long
10.
time ago.
A while ago. And Barbara, I know she invested in it. I can't remember if someone else did, but I know Barbara invested in it, and they made this big, and this was a franchise. So listen, Barbara, I love you. I love Shark Tank. I have, like, in my times of weeping, I have wanted to call you and, like, get on the show because you guys would love us. So we didn't do that. We ended up with a private investor that we love. But here's the thing. Food is great. I have some recommendations. The service.
Uh-oh.
I did not like being treated as not a human. So give us a call, warriorsmanagement.com.
Dun, dun,
dun. So no, we'd love to work with you, Barbara. I think I loved it. I kind of want one. A franchise. Maybe that'll get us in the door. So yeah. Well, I think that's it.
All right.
All right. Hey, you guys have a great week, and thank you for tuning in to the Warriors Mindset, where the
Where the what's? Where the what's?
Messed it up.
Elijah just got
where
out
the
of the bathroom.
sayings, riddles, and blunders of the wise are set forth. And check out 7th. This is Here They Come. This is 7th.
And I hope you don't end up like that guy in that casket this week.
Yeah. Have a great week.
Follow me.